Hello, this is Dorothy Smith, your close to my heart independent consultant, and today I'm going to do 'Tis the Season workshops your way. And I am showing this because I'm making some changes to it. So I'm flipping the paper over, and I'm using this beautiful white pine cone paper as the background, even though it's a very bold background. I really liked it, and I didn't want to see it go unused or not seen. So the cuts to this kit are very simple to this particular layout. They're like 1 by 12 inch cuts of the couple of the background and texture papers, and also the candy apple red. And so they're either 1 by 12 or 1.5 by 12. So like I said, that's pretty simple. And then there's the background for the pictures are like 9 by 9 and 8 by 8 or thereabouts. And that's done in linen, which is a really pale gray. And so to start off with, I'm going to measure. So you come down 3 inches from the top, and the strip starts 3 inches down and goes all the way across because they're 12-inch strips. So I know that pattern is a little bit busy for that background paper, but I'm going to take care of that and put a little calming feature using some shimmer trim just to take that kind of clash away between the black and white snowflake and the pine cone paper. And so once you get the first strip in place, then you're good to go. And you can just abut each of your strips up to the next one. So pretty darn simple. And if you notice, the green paper, the flip side is the little holly paper, which is real cute. And so you're using essentially the same paper and just flipping it to get maximum use out of and maximum look out of the papers. So I'm using the shimmer trim, like I said, to kind of put a calming piece between the background paper and that pretty vibrant black and white snowflake. So it really helps. I mean, it just kind of cuts that clashing that's going between those two papers. And then this is the linen square, the larger linen square, and we're using the green Words of the Season paper as the background for the pictures. And so that big square comes like 1.5 inches over and about 1.5 down. And so once I get the this side done, then I'll line it up with the second page, and it'll be very simple to put all the strips in place because I won't even have to measure. I can just line them right up with each other. And so got that going, and instead of, they have these really cool good sized snowflake embellishments that are dimensional, but I really like the pine cone so much that I actually cut some pine cones out of I think the You Are Here cartridge, where it cuts both the background and the cut piece so that you've got some dimension going on with the pine cone. Normally you would do pine cones in brown, but I chose to match, making linen pine cones to match the white pine cones on the paper. So that's going to be my corner decoration. So I'm just going to use a little adhesive, little Tombow, and tack that in place on top of the background. And the difference between our flip sides of our cardstock is very subtle. As you can see, it's just a hint of a shade off from each other, which is nice too. That means you get almost 2 different colors of cardstock. You just have to be careful that you're using the correct side when you're using it. And so I'm going to use my pop-up squares that was left over from a shaker window that I did. And so that'll add a little bit more dimension to the pine cones. And then I got, this did not come with the kit, but I found these online, and they're red pearls. Now, a couple of videos ago, I was coloring white pearls with my marker, and it came out okay, but when you compare those colored pearls with these bright red pearls that I found, I think they were on a sale that Close to My Heart was having. And they always have Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales each year around after Thanksgiving. And so you can get some really good deals then. And they're brilliant red, and so they kind of look like holly berries, and I just love them. So I decided to use those. And there's another element that was supposed to go there, but I think I used it for another layout. No, I think I used it for a card. And so there's only one of the poinsettias on that red glitter paper, which probably would have been fine, but I think I'll probably hold it for another thing where just one small poinsettia is fine. And so I'm going to use a bigger element, and I'm going to add one of my red bows that I made with my Bow Easy, which I love. I'm going to add that to the pine cones because that just really makes those pine cones look cute. And it goes along with the pattern of the background paper. So anytime you have a background that has elements in it, it's okay to reuse those elements to go with your whole look. So the red bows just coordinate with the red bows on the paper, and the white pine cones coordinate with the white pine cones on the paper, and the bow close to the pine cones is perfect. So, and here I'm putting Holiday, and it's in shiny gold paper, which is really, really lovely. But when you're looking at this on the instructions, you can't even tell on the instructions that it's gold. It kind of looks like it's black. And so I'm using one of the red pearls as the dot to the eye, just because I had to. Because the little dot for the gold dot was just too small, and I just had to use that little red pearl. It was too perfect. So I'm going to tumbo my little bow in place, and I might have to use a little stronger adhesive at another time. And this is one of the other embellishments. They're sweet little buttons that are covered in material, and they're really, really pretty. But all 6 of them are covered in different color material. But the patterns go with, as you can see, there's a red plaid button. So it goes perfectly with our papers. So very cool. So now I'm just going to line up my sheets side by side, and then I don't have to think. I can just put the strips down, since this is a symmetrical layout. The only thing that's not symmetrical is the squares. The big squares are different sizes, but otherwise all the stripes, it's all symmetrical. So makes it easy for one thing, and it makes it continuous, and it allows your eye to go to, even though you've got a lot of pretty things to look at on your layout alone, you still want your eye to go to your pictures. And so if you have a lot of symmetry going, then your eye is kind of calm, so it can find the pictures and not constantly get distracted by, this element and that element and all these different elements coming up. So I've got all of my pieces going in place here, And this is such cute little paper, that little holly paper. It's a really nice background and texture paper. And I'm going to add my shimmer trim to cut that busyness between the pine cones and the black snowflakes, black and white snowflake paper. And I've just about got my shimmer trim all used up there. So I'm just trimming off the edges. Our shimmer trim is really, really pretty. And it's a really tough adhesive. So kind of like once it's down for the count. Otherwise you're pulling up all sorts of paper with it. But it's gorgeous, and it really just adds its own spectacular element of glistening and shine. And but the black just really takes the busyness between the two papers. It kind of takes it away. It makes it okay. So I'm glad I thought of that. It was kind of a fight between white, red, and black, and I decided to go with the black since essentially the background of the paper there, it's not necessarily black, it's charcoal, but the black just goes really well with this paper. And normally I would think, God, you're using black with Christmas, but it's okay. It just adds an elegance to the layout. So I'm okay with it. So, and what I'm not okay with is the fact that I can't see my numbers on the ruler against the black background. So I can't really see what I'm doing. And I'm driving myself crazy here. Watch me go nuts. Okay, Dorothy, just put it down. Please put it down. See, this is what happens when you become a perfectionist and you just drive yourself crazy. It's just not worth it. Just stick it down, for God's sakes. Okay, there we go. And these are the snowflakes I was telling you about, or pinwheels, whatever you want to call them. I think they're supposed to be snowflakes. So they're pretty, but I think they're just too much with this paper. So I'm going to go back to my pine cone. But I only have the one pine cone. My other backgrounds are in my other room, so we're just going to have to do with one. So, nope, see, it's not there. So, and it's okay because the other side right there is 2 pine cones. And it's always an element of something in a layout or art or whatever. It's always good to have odd numbers rather than even. And I'm not sure why that works, but it does work as far as looking better to have odd numbers rather than even numbers of things. And I'm going to pop up this side also just to add some dimension to the pine cone. And I really love these pine cones. And I really love those hollyberry red pearls. Whoop. Pearl out of control. Here we go. And it's always good to use a tweezer. It makes these embellishments easier to get off. And instead of just pulling them off, I would suggest sliding them to the side off of the clear background, because then you have less of a tendency to pull the adhesive off of your embellishment, whether it's a pearl or a sparkle or whatever. If you slide it, it will come off with the adhesive in place, since these are all self-stick. Now, these punch-outs, unfortunately, are not self-stick, and they're a little difficult to work with sometimes, just to try to get them off. But I'm going to add a little pop, and then I found out that there was a bunch of centers that needed to get poked out. So I should have speeded this one up more. But they're pretty snowflakes. I didn't realize. Like I said, see, even when you look at that sheet of gold foil, it almost has a black look to it. So seeing it in real life is a big difference. And a lot of times my ladies will say to me, these didn't look so good in the catalog, but when you see them in real life, they're really wonderful. And yeah, that happens a lot, and that's true. And most of our workshops, Your Way kits, are fairly simple pages, and but what that allows you to do is to add your own elements of embellishment to glitz it up a little bit. So you can add your own personality to, a fairly simple page. If you like simple pages, then you have a simple page. But if you like to add your own touch, then you're not getting too busy with these, which could be considered somewhat simple sometimes, layouts. So you can add a lot to these and have your own fun with them. So don't be afraid to experiment. I mean, all you have to do is, like, I'm trying this out, and it just doesn't quite work. So I'm not gonna use that there. I'll use that for something else. And so I'll use the Christmas tree is cute, so I'll put him over there. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with that layout, and I really like my pine cones, and really love my red pearls, and I'm going to do matching little red pearls over in the lower corner to kind of finish off, balance out the upper corner ones. And there you go. So I like that, and I love that paper. I really love that paper. So I'm going to try again. Oh, persistence paid off. Look at that. Okay, so the next layout uses kind of a chalk. This background paper is kind of like chalk. It's kind of like a chalkboard. It looks like a chalkboard, truly. And the backside of this is a really bold Christmas cane pattern. But I will show you what I'm going to do with this, and I'm going to make some changes. I had to make some changes only because one of my zip strips was too short, and actually 2 zip strips were too short. So I'll show you what. I don't realize it yet, but see, that one's fine. It's the other one that's a problem. And what you do on this one, it's a 1/4 of an inch border on the top and the bottom elements. So there's going to be a 1/4 of an inch going all around. And I don't know that we've had like chalkboard backgrounds before, but this is going to end up being a great backdrop for another video I did where I made a fireplace. And I'm going to put my fireplace on this because it makes a great Christmas element. And I was pretty happy with how it turned out. So here I'm just getting my 1/4 of an inch. And see, that one's not long enough. So now what am I going to do? So I'll just put this one in place. Find my Tombow hiding underneath and put it in place. And then I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this, since it's too short. What to do? I'll worry about that later. So now on the instructions The bottom piece is actually a zip strip, kind of a real fine candy cane zip strip. The problem is I used one of them, so I only had one, and now I'm running out of Tombow. So I had one and used one. So what I decided to do was to take my zip strip and put it at the 1/4 inch mark on my cutting board, on my Fisker's cutting, what is that thing called? The cutting table, whatever. But in order to make an even cut and get a 1/4 inch strip, I tacked it in place, in 2 places, with washi tape. And so the washi tape, so I'm just trimming it to 11.5 inches right there, so that there's a 1/4 inch border all around. And so now I'm just going to put it in place here, and like I said, the washi tape just has enough hold that you can keep something in the right place for a temporary piece of time. Okay, so now I'm going to continue and put the red candy apple red 1/4 inch strip above the candy cane zip strip, and according to the instructions. And those 1/4 inch pieces are a little bit harder to handle. They're a little bit floppier than the other pieces. So there it is in place, and I need to kind of figure out what I'm going to do, whether I can use the red shimmer, or if I take this off, it's starting to rip the paper. And so now I've got to figure out what to do, and I can't come up with another. I just don't have another piece of that. So I went to the other room and found another piece of the background and texture, and what I'm going to do is I cut it into 1/2 inch strips and to 11.5 inches, and instead of using the red polka dot, I'll use the red plaid. And this is what happens. Now, mind you, had I just gone ahead and started making this layout without making some other pieces before I ever started these layouts, you would have plenty of paper, believe me, and plenty. Your zip strips would be long enough. But this is only because I had done some previous stuff with the paper and then decided to do the layouts as they were. So this is what happens. So, so what? So you come up with a easy fix, and, it's still the bright red, maybe not as punchy as the red polka dots, but, it's red and it's fine, and everything's okay. And I could cut it to a 1/2 inch strip so that it covered up the red polka dot without having to possibly rip some of my black paper. So I'm just going to continue and put my red striped zip strip on the bottom, and also the red 1/4 inch cardstock piece in candy apple. And then I'll be ready to do the decorating of the inside of that large black openness. So the question is, what am I going to do? So I had told you all that when I was making this, I made this video a couple of days ago, and decided that I was going to use my fireplace as an element in a layout. And so with the big black open area, I could put pictures there, but I'll have pictures for the other side. And it's a nice big area to make my fireplace stand out. And this looks similar to the fireplace that we have. We keep our fireplace going during the winter time, and especially at Christmas. And there are 3 stockings hanging up on our fireplace for my husband and my son and myself. And so this little 3 stocking fireplace is perfect. So what I have to do is make sure I get some pictures of our fireplace with the fire in it and the stockings hanging up, and put it across from my little scrapbook fireplace. And I was really glad that it worked out beautifully. I hadn't planned this, people, to have that. Whoops, and now that snowflake is in place because I put it down and forgot that there was a stickum to it. And so, the fireplace doesn't really need to pop up because it pops enough. It's got enough dimension to it. And the bright and merry kind of reminds me of the fireplace. It's all bright and merry with the stockings hanging up. So I'm good with that. And the snow is the reason why there's a fire in the fireplace. So even though we don't get a lot of snow in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we do on occasion. So the other side is going to be for pictures. So we've got some, and these come in all of our workshops your way. They're placeholders for pictures of specific sizes. So the other side will get some 3x4 and 3x3 picture placeholders to go there. And then there'll also be a journaling box to add details. So this is the journaling card. And then I've got my placeholders, my picture placeholders. And I'll lay those out. And so it'll be 3x4, 3x4, and then that journaling card is a 3x4. And so we'll have a nice symmetrical stack of pictures and journaling cards. And I was thinking that maybe that could go above there, but it's a little bit big. Could probably cut it down, actually. It'd be kind of cute to have Believe over there. That would go with the stockings on the fireplace, too. So I don't think I ended up putting it there, but I think I will in as an afterthought. So there's some stars that come with the gold foil punch-out die cuts, and some snowflakes, and just to add a little pizzazz to that side of the paper. And then this is going to be, I think it goes down about a 1/2 inch from the zip strip. So I'll start lining up those pictures, and this layout is almost done. And I mean, you can see that so the cutting elements on this page, the top holly is probably a 2-inch piece, 2 by 11.5. All the strips are 11.5, so you get the 1/4 inch border going around the paper, so it kind of looks like it's got a black frame. And then the 11.5 by 1/4 inch. Don't know what happened there. For the bottom strips. So all of your cutting pieces on these layouts are very simple. That's why I say there's a lot of simplicity going on, which lets you be able to put embellishments on, or even an element like my fireplace. You can put it on there, and it didn't really make it look too busy. It just added to it. And so, that's pretty cool in a way, that you can come up with, fun elements to really individualize these layouts. So, or if you want to just do them as the layouts, that's cool too. You know, let your pictures be the star of the show. So, and those line up very nicely. And I think there's just a couple of more pieces of embellishments that, okay, there, that's going to go up there, so I don't have to put that believe piece. And another snowflake. And another snowflake. So that's balanced at the other corner. And then some stars to go with the snowflakes. And I think that'll be a very nice layout for Christmas pictures this year. So now I know at least some of my pictures need to include the fireplace to go on this layout. So there you go. Pretty easy, pretty simple to do. And there is the place for the date. So you remember which year. You always think you're going to remember the year, but you know, when you get enough years behind you like I've got, the years become confusing. Y'all take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching my video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my blog at dotscrapbooking.com.